Today, we eat and cook Avant Garde style.
Dog got the mighty, let me tell the news. My head got wet in midnight dew. Great God, I've been down on my bending knees, talking to a man from Galilee. My God spoke and he sounds so sweet. I thought I heard the shuffle of angels' feet. He put one hand.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. As always, just a quick reminder that I'm now offering the SIBO, organic acids, stool tests and consult via my website. So if you have any health or digestive issues, then consider taking these tests, as they will provide a lot of very detailed information upon which you can start making informed decisions and then start getting your health back on track. And on that bombshell, to the video. Forgive me everyone, it's been 7 days since my last confession. COVID is still here, and COVID spelled backwards is DVOC, and what the DVOC is happening. Anyhow, it's now just after 8 AM and I will get to breakfast shortly, but first I want to quickly mention that all of today's recipes are from Avant Garde's recipe books, and if you haven't already got these books, then go ahead and treat yourself. As the saying goes, the way you treat yourself sets the standards for others, so treat yourself to these books and your vegan standards will be very high. I will also quickly say a couple of the recipes I have modified slightly or added things in based on what I have in the kitchen, but they are still belting meals. Anyway, I'm so hungry, my stomach is gnawing on my backbone, so let's get to breakfast. Pan onto hob, medium to high heat. In after that goes the almond milk. We get the temperature right up until it begins to simmer, and then we turn the temperature right down. I like my porridge nice and thick and creamy, so we're going to let this simmer for around 5 to 10 minutes or so. So we are now 5 minutes away from the porridge finishing, so we're going to put in some cooked quinoa for some extra nutrition and also protein to kickstart the day. We are now 1 minute away from the porridge finishing, so we're going to put in some frozen cherries for that sweet cherry goodness. So with the porridge and quinoa done, we're going to get it off the heat and into the bowl. Next onto the porridge goes some hemp seeds. These are a great source of protein. Chia seeds then go on top for those healthy omega-3s. The last couple of ingredients to finish everything off are 2 tablespoons of walnuts, 1 tablespoon of sunflower seeds, 1 tablespoon of goji berries, and a nice dollop of peanut butter. For me, breakfast doesn't get any better than that. You've got sweet, you've got savoury, and you've got a bowl packed full of nutrition.
So this is good.
So breakfast come in at around 1,000 calories, and before you say that porridge bowl was never 1,000 calories, you are indeed correct. What you saw on screen I gave to Emma, and I myself ate from a trough. Breakfast was ace in terms of having a decent amount of fibre, decent amounts of healthy fats, a good amount of proteins and essential amino acids, and also a decent start to the day in terms of vitamins and minerals. And the best thing about it, that total meal come in at around £2.18.
Why does my heart...
For lunch, we've got this 1-pot pasta recipe. I love simple, tasty and nutritious meals, and this one certainly delivers. Into the pan goes the red lentil pasta. Then we chop up a small red onion and get it into the pan. Finally chop a garlic clove and get it in the pan. Cherry tomatoes, get them sliced up and again into the pan. 2 tablespoons of tomato puree into the pan. Veggie stock cubes also into the pan. Green pitted olives into the pan. Then we put 1.5 tablespoons of capers into the pan. Black beans for their fibre, protein, vitamins and minerals into the pan. Medium to high heat and then in with the boiling water. Next up, you want to chop up some parsley and again put it into the pan.
Why does my heart
That right there is Avant Garde's one pot pasta. It's nutritious, healthy and tasty.
Why does my soul?
So lunch come in at around 771 calories. This type of meal is exactly what you need this time of year. Warming, hearty and lots of nutrition to keep your immune system firing on all cylinders. So that meal has given me another 27 grams of fibre, not too much in the way of healthy fats, but that's no biggie as breakfast and dinner have got my back. The protein in lunch was also pretty good, getting a decent blend of those essential amino acids, and we also did fairly well on vitamins and minerals. And in terms of cost per portion, that recipe come in at around £1.62. Last meal of the day is Avant Garde's sweet and spicy broth, so let's get to it. Garlic and ginger, finely chopped and into the pan. 1 medium to hot chilli, finely sliced and into the pan. Slice up some mushrooms and again into the pan. Chop up your firm tofu into cubes and throw it in the pan.
Go tell that midnight rider, tell the gambling, rambling, backslider, tell them God Almighty gonna curl it.
Once you've boiled the kettle, pour 2 cups in with the ingredients. Next, crumble in your vegetable stock and give it a good stir. Add in 1 tablespoon of date syrup. Next, in goes the rice vinegar. Love miso paste. In it goes. Last sauce to go in is your tamari. Once all of that's in the pan, let it simmer for around 5 minutes. Add in your bean sprouts. Click your pak choy and get it in the pan. Let the pak choy wilt down, remove it from the heat, and then it's time to plate up. Finally, you want to add some sesame seeds over the top. That right there is Avant Garde sweet and spicy broth. I would have that every day of the week and twice on a Sunday. So lunch come in at around 450 calories. Now some may say this is a bit on the low side, but this is how I just tend to eat in the evenings. My grandmother always used to say, eat like a king or queen for breakfast, a prince or princess for lunch, and a peasant for your evening meal. I think that's a great philosophy, and I believe it's one of the main things that saw my nan living well into her 90s. The cost of the evening meal was around £4.65, taking the total cost for the day of eating to around £8.45. So this is a little bit on the higher side, and my average food cost on a daily basis is around £5 to £6. Now if you look at the UK for example, the average person will spend around £46 per week. So in next week's video I will do a what I ate in a day video to show you how you can come in below this average weekly spend and more importantly hit all of your nutritional requirements. I hate nothing more than idiot YouTubers who make a what I ate in a day video on a £2 budget. Yes, you may have eaten for £2 but you have failed to hit most of your nutritional requirements, you absolute worm sperm. Anyhow, if we total up that day of eating, you can see that I ate around 2,200 calories. I'm not too much of a snacker and I will generally just eat 3 square meals a day, and this is just the way that I eat personally. In terms of fibre, I ate around 60 grams, and in general I would say that I eat anywhere from 60 to 80 grams a day, with a good blend of soluble and insoluble fibre and also resistant starch. I got a good blend of healthy fats, and the only thing that I would say is that my omega-3s were slightly skewed by higher amounts of omega-6s. This is obviously an isolated day of eating, and throughout the week as a general rule, I will always try and ensure that my omegas are in a good ratio to help keep inflammation low. Proteins are good across the board, and I would say that this is slightly on the higher side of protein for me. I generally aim for 50 to 70 grams per day and around 120% of all of those essential amino acids. The reason that I do this, as I have said many times previously, is that protein from plants is slightly more difficult to extract. So foods have what's called a protein digestibility corrected amino acid score. Cow's milk and eggs, for example, have a score of 1, meaning that they are very easily digestible. whereas something like black beans have a score of 0.75, so you have to eat slightly higher amounts of these to extract your protein requirements. So if you aim for hitting 120% of your amino acid requirements, then you will never go too far wrong. The problems can arise when you are eating a lot of foods in your diet that have a low digestibility score and you are only hovering around your normal calorie intake. This is not something you need to count, but something you need to be aware of. So just eat a normal and varied diet and you will be absolutely fine. Vitamins and minerals across the board, you can see that I easily achieved. In terms of sodium, it was way lower than this as I chose low salt versions of the sauces in the recipes, but they never had these on Chronometer, hence the high numbers. As a day of eating, that was right up my street, tasty, healthy, simple and very quick to make. So thank you very much Avant Garde for those inspirations. Next week's What I Eat in a Day video will be eating on a budget, but ensuring that I hit all of my nutritional requirements. After that you decide, so if you want specific music in these videos or you have a specific theme, then let me know your suggestions in the comments below. It could be a film theme such as Pulp Fiction or even something like a day of eating of Chinese food, so get commenting below. Anyhow, that's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, remember to look after your body because it's the only place you have to live. And I'll see you next time.